warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, come back with me Deviana Azzahroh. On this occasion, I will discuss about static routing. Routing function to connect two or more networks that have different networks. There are two types of routing, namely dynamic route and static route. Dynamic route is a routing process that is generated automatically. Static route is a routing process created manually to adjust the traffic direction. So this topology. The first step, we configure the IP address of both router. Login is identity router 01. The first step is to check its interface on the router with the command interface print. We can see here I'm using ether 1 and ether 4 with the symbol R, which means running. Next, we configure the IP address for the two interfaces, namely ether 1 and ether 4, with following the command IP address at address 172.16.20.2/24 interface ether 1. Next, for the ether 4, IP address at address 192.168.1.1/24 interface is ether 4 enter. Next, if you can check with the command IP address print, we can see that the IP address configuration we previously that was successful. If you have made sure we configure the IP address on the client PC. Open network and internet setting. Choose change adapter option. Click properties. And read IP address 192.168.1.2/24. Don't forget to default gateway. And then OK. There we configure the router 1 is successful. Next, we configuring to the router 2. Open Winbox and login. The first step is to check the interface on the router with the command interface print. We can see here I'm using ether 1 and ether 4 with the symbol R, which means running. Next, we configure the IP address for the two interfaces, namely ether 1 and 4, with the following command IP address at address 172.16.20.1/24 interface ether 1. Next, configure to the interface ether 4. IP address is 192.168.2.1/24 interface ether 4. Enter. If you have checked it with the command IP address print, we can see that the IP address configuration we previously did was successful. If you have, make sure we configure the IP address on the client PC. Click Open Network and Sharing Center. Choose Adapter Setting. VirtualBox is disable. We choose Ethernet. Click Properties. Where IP address is 192.168.2.2. Subnet mask is /24. Don't forget to the default gateway is 192.168.2.1. I click OK. Yes. And we configure to the router 2. We have successful. Next, we configure static routing. Configure the IP route on the router 1 using the command IP route at TST address is 192.168.2.0/24. Gateway 172.16.20.1. Enter. If you have checked it by using the command IP route print. Enter. We can see that it says here there is a AS flag, which means that exiting IP route is create static and is active, while the ADC IP route flag is automatic, obtained, and active. If we have done the test by doing a pin test to the laptop on router 2 with the command ping 192.168.1.1, we can see that the results are successful because we have successfully matched routing on the router 1 and router 2. After that, we try to ping from router 2 to the router 1. Enter the command ping 192.168.1.1. Enter. We can see the result to router to host, which means we have not router 2. Do the same thing on the router 2, namely configure the IP route with the command IP route at TST address 192.168.1.0/24. Gateway 172.16.20.2. Enter. And check with the command IP route print. we can see that the configuring IP route we have successful. If we have done the test by doing a pin test to the laptop router 1 with the command ping 192.168.1.1. Enter. We can see the results are successful because we have success in making routing on the router 1 and router 2. Next, we do the test by ping via CMD on both client PC. The first PC 1. Type ipconfig. We can see that to the IPv address is configured on the IP static. Here we ping PC2 through PC1 by type ping 192.168.2.2. Enter. We can see that to the status is reply. So, to the configure is successful. Next, test to the PC2. Click Windows plus R. Type ipconfig. We can see to the IPv4 address is to the configure in the IP static. Here we ping PC1 to the PC2. Ping 192.168.1.2. Enter. We can see to the status is reply. So, configuring to the routine has been successful. That's all and thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.